on January 9th, 2023. Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we have a full board here.
Yep.
So we have full quorum. We have a adopt agenda. There are two things I'd like to add that were missed. Well, one I want to move. I want to move election of officers after the adoption of ordinance 7, 2022.
Right.
So I want to move that to after that. And then after the minutes, I want to add public comments, because that's currently not on there. Do we need a vote on that, Gordon?
I don't know if we need a vote, or if you just can share that and, a chair request, but we should probably just make a vote on it real quick. You're gonna make that motion, I'll second that motion.
Okay, make a motion to adopt the agenda with the two changes, is
To
that,
move election
and public
and,
comments.
okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Previous meeting minutes, December 12th, 2022. So
That's
everybody have a
plural.
chance to read this?
That's plural. We have meeting minutes of December 12th, 2022, and we have meeting minutes of December 12th, 2022.
So we have the joint meeting and then we have.
Yeah, we have a joint meeting and a regular meeting,
Regular
correct?
meeting. So we have two sets of meetings to approve?
Yes,
Two
correct.
sets of minutes to approve? Okay. Do we have those?
Yeah, right here in front of you.
Okay.
They were in order.
So,
You still have, you got all of them. I don't think he has one.
Oh, well, yeah.
okay, December 12th.
You got it.
Yeah. Make sure I am.
We can pass them separately, or we can pass them together?
Yeah, let's pass them separately. So let's pass the joint meeting minutes for planning and the board first. And if everybody's read them and nobody has any corrections, let's, I'll entertain a motion to approve the joint planning commission, the joint planning and board meeting.
I'll make that motion.
That's for the joint meeting?
Yep.
Okay.
Do the joint meeting. And I think I heard you, Gordon, say you had a second.
I can't second that, no, I wrote it.
Oh, okay. Okay, Clinton seconds it. Bill made the motion, Clinton seconded. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Now we have the minutes for the planning commission after that, December 12th. And only, the planning commission, obviously. So I'll make a motion, then I need a second.
I'll second.
Then a second it, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Okay, now we're gonna go into, before adoption of ordinance 7, 2022, marijuana zoning, public comments, and these are any comments that people have, as I said before. You've got 3 minutes to speak. If you want to talk about the weather for 3 minutes, you can talk about the weather for 3 minutes. If you have your 3 minutes of fame, so, is there anybody that wants to add a public comment?
Yeah, well,
Dan Kent?
I'm wondering, if we could maybe get some clarification, maybe it would be the township's attorney. In August 9th, 2021, we had a vote at the planning commission for the removal of Mr. Phil Lamore on the planning commission. I've talked to legal counsel and they've said that that would be an illegitimate vote. So I would hope that the planning commission or the board would look into that, into the legality of that particular vote.
Yeah, because if I remember right, that was a 2-2 vote. And it was 2 people to ask the township supervisor to remove Phil Lamore. And Gordon and Phil both voted in favor of retaining himself. And what you're saying is correct. Legally, I don't think the person in question can vote for themselves. They have to abstain.
That was my
So
understanding
I think
also.
we need, that's a great point. We need clarification from our attorney that was correct, because technically, if it's not correct, Phil's no longer on the planning commission.
Well, if he's no longer on the planning commission, he should refrain from voting on anything tonight.
And that's the second point I was gonna make, is exactly, the prudent thing to do would be for you, Phil, not to vote on anything on the agenda tonight until we have clarification.
I disagree with that 100%.
Well, you can do that, but
Well-
it's been noted.
It's,
Can I ask a
You
question
can vote
about
whatever
that?
you like, I have an obligation to vote.
Not if you're legitimately not on the planning commission.
Can I ask a question?
Nobody removed me.
Sorry, just because I don't understand.
Go ahead.
The planning commission is all appointed by the board, right?
Correct,
Okay. And doesn't the planning commission have to have a member of the board sitting on it?
correct,
And isn't he the designated member from that board?
correct.
So doesn't that override the fact that he may have been removed from the planning commission or not at one time? He's now here as a designated member of the board. So he's legitimately here because the board placed him here. And he's the only representative on this commission from the board that we elected. The rest of you are all just appointed, right? He's the only
Right.
elected person
Right.
here? And you want to remove him?
Right.
It sounds like,
Then if you
Tyranny.
remove him, then would your votes be
So the-
illegitimate?
yeah.
Because there is no,
because he's the one that assigned you all here.
yeah.
So
No, he didn't, the supervisor
the
did.
supervisor.
if the board did.
Right. But I've been on board for 22
But-
years.
but if
I-
it's-
yeah, we know.
But if,
We unfortunately know,
but if
yes.
a township board member isn't on the board, then your board isn't legitimate until someone
He's
from
sitting
No,
the.
as long as we have a quorum,
Township is
as long as
sitting
we have a quorum, the board's legitimate.
I'm saying that he is legitimate because the board, the legitimately voted in board placed him here as a representative for us. So I don't see how you can.
Well, they're all
legitimize him when the
representatives of
board
us.
placed him here.
The planning commission.
He's the representative from the board.
Yeah, but.
So he's a little different than the rest of you.
Why wasn't this brought up a long time ago?
Why, yeah. When,
Why
we're
was this-
recommending,
Why was this not brought up a long time ago? And I'm gonna tell you,
Yeah, why
You've
is he
been
looking
kicking
at
the
the
can
regular
down the road
planning
forever.
commission?
and you're pulling all this crap, and
Constantly.
I'll tell you what, you should pay the attorney bill. This is
Yes.
absolutely
Yes.
ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous, and you're trying to pull little straws out of every little crack, and I've had it.
We're tired of it.
Because it's my taxpaying money.
Citizens
And
here.
Every little thing you're
You
trying
know-
to find.
You
Hey,
know,
go
We're
ahead,
tired
come
of
in.
it. We're tired of watching it on video.
I'm
That's
not
why we're
gonna
here.
get mad at you, I'm gonna state the facts.
Yeah,
Why,
the facts.
why are we in this position right now?
We don't have to argue about that, that's been down the road, we've talked about it, and you know about it.
Constant
Yeah, that's been
manipulation.
put to
That's
bed on several meetings
But
we've
you're
been.
trying to
We're all
pull
tired of
little
hearing
strings out of
about
every
it.
little
Done.
crack to break this board up and to divide everything.
And divide the whole township.
Now,
We're
listen,
tired of
listen to
watching
this.
it.
You're not working for the public, you're working for your own personal agenda.
I have no personal agenda except the
Well, it
public.
sure looks like it.
Yeah, why was Dan Kent removed,
I don't know, I didn't remove him.
okay? But Dan Kent's been on the planning commission for.
Because he was never legitimately sworn in or anything, right?
Yeah, if you wanna wonder why it took so long to bring this up, same thing with Dan Kent. Why did it take so long for them to find out?
Don't ask me.
That he
You know
wasn't
what I
sworn
did for a
in.
job.
But we did it by the book, Phil.
But my point is, this is a
How
totally
How long
different
were
planning
you, how long were you on the
commission.
planning
He is
commission before they
literally
discovered
But
you weren't
why
sworn
did
in?
you
I was
bring this
sworn
up
in
before
by-
this meeting?
the
I
only
don't know
reason
what
why
Mary
you're
Craig,
not saying
when they
that
were
is
still in office.
We have one person speaking at a time.
Correct.
Thank you.
Okay, I've said what I said, but I'm telling you,
It's
we're
It
trying to.
smelly in
it doesn't
here.
matter when it's brought up, Dave.
Yeah, it
It
does.
was brought up tonight.
Why wasn't it brought up a long time ago? You waited till tonight. and
Why
you
wasn't
brought
his
it up.
swearing in brought up a
Doesn't
long time
matter.
ago?
Doesn't matter.
Even if
Is it-
he was
is it a
legitimate,
legitimate point or
he is
not?
now.
Then you're not
That's
looking
the
out for
point.
the public.
No, for
We're
sure,
looking out for the public,
for sure not.
because Dan Kent was removed because we're looking out for the
Legitimately.
Republic.
Dan Kent was removed by the township board.
He wasn't removed by
Township
me or
board-
anything.
Placed him here.
I'm a taxpayer.
Yeah, but,
The township board is the only one that appoints people to the planning commission. They are also the only one that can remove them from the planning commission. The
Right.
planning commission has no right to remove any of them.
We're a recommending body, we can
Let's just keep
recommend.
kicking the can down the road and keep kicking it down the
okay,
road. We'll call the
We're
attorney,
just-
and we'll call the attorney, and we'll
Well,
do this and that, and that's
the-
taxpayers' money.
the point is, we have a quorum tonight, it's a meeting tonight, let's get through the meeting.
Okay,
We
let's,
can talk
let's,
about the technicalities later.
Let's
okay,
do it legally.
that's exactly right, then you let him vote, don't tell him he can't vote.
That's right. You
He
can
is-
recommend-
he
I'm
is on the
advising,
board.
I'm advising him not to vote, he can do whatever he wants.
Okay, his
I'm
vote,
advising him not to vote.
his vote will count, yes or no?
We'll have to wait to the attorney.
Denise is
Decide.
telling
Been on it for
But he-
23 years, but doesn't
Denise
understand how
is
it
telling
works.
you no.
But we,
I know, you're shaking your head, and I know what that means.
Mark, we gotta stop all this, we gotta stop all this
Dividing all of us.
friction, everybody. It's ridiculous.
Constant.
It's personal agendas.
yeah,
It is.
it is
And
personal,
even those of us that just moved here can smell it.
right.
It's so
Well,
dirty.
what's the agenda?
What's a personal thing?
Right,
We don't know, because you all have history, but
But you're not
on
looking
this
out
side
for
of
the
the fence, you're
taxpayers.
not working for the taxpayers.
Because we bumped this down the road 3 months, 4 months, screwing around.
Dan Kent was removed from the planning
I
commission,
didn't
having
know that.
served, and the only thing that he was removed for is a technicality, he wasn't sworn in. That's the only thing. Who's the person that swears him in? This guy.
Or the supervisor, or the
Supervisor.
deputy, or the county clerk. Any one of those.
I think, Mark,
That-
maybe
that-
if you had 3 minutes there, I think they've discussed what they would like to say, and
I guess I've used up my 3 minutes more than
Yeah, okay.
so. Refrain.
So,
Can I-
we know where you're coming from.
Can I piggyback on the fact that this has been kind of costly and kicked down the road and things like that?
That's what I'm saying.
I've kind of attended all the meetings and I've kind of watched the procedures. And I don't have all the documents, I've listened to what was read and I tried to understand and listen very acutely. And I'm not 100% on where we're at. And we're looking at an ordinance. But I need to go back to the last meeting where the board, you guys passed an ordinance. Now, after that ordinance is passed, who sends it to the county for review? Whose responsibility is it legally to get it to the county for review?
I am assuming it would be our township liaison would send that to the county. He has in the past sent that information to the county.
And that was ordinance 2022-.
I don't know, it's something,
I'm
yeah.
asking that, because the board passed the ordinance, has it been sent to the county?
The board has not passed any ordinance.
The planning
the
commission
pla-
did.
Yes, the planning commission recommended to the township board, number 6022. Go ahead.
I'm trying to get procedure, 'cause I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
wanna
yeah.
screw it
The
up.
township board tabled it, waiting for tonight's discussion on 07-2022. They have not
Well,
sent
I get
anything to the
that.
county.
But can the township board table the planning commission's decision?
Sure.
Okay. And
We're just
that's it.
recommending body. And we don't,
Are you following what I'm saying?
I am following what you're saying.
I'm trying to find out whether or not that should have been submitted back to the county and the township, and then the township deny it. I'm only worried about the
It
process
is
so
a-
that we don't.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is-
yeah, no, we are following the process here.
I
Now-
thought you guys did submit it to the county after you initially had the failed motion in August.
Keep in mind, yes, that's right. Keep in mind too, that when something goes to the county, they have the 30 days to waive,
Right.
irrespective. So,
I understand. I'm just wondering if the county
the
received.
planning commission also,
What the planning commission,
Bruno, Bruno, Bruno,
the one that was
And they were told they
denied.
didn't have
not
to.
this,
Bruno.
you have,
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Go ahead, Bruno, you have the.
No, that's it. It was just procedural. That's where I'm confused.
procedural would be that the planning commission never submitted to the township clerk at a township meeting or anything thereafter that set that up for me to do that, ever.
No, I don't think
Not
that's an
that.
official policy thing.
There was nothing that was given.
I don't know, if
Therefore-
by law, if the chair is supposed to do it, or if the secretary, or
Irrespective, the
member.
board is supposed to do it. It doesn't come from me. And it didn't come.
The planning commission approved it and made a motion to move it to the board.
You
That was
did,
done.
but you didn't copy the clerk or anyone in this office with regards to that document or the vote taken by the planning commission. Nothing forwarded means nothing goes in. If you have that document and you want it to be forwarded, when I go see the county this week, and I will, I'll have that put on the document, I'll have it waived.
No, I'm confused.
Well,
Yeah, no,
I don't have a
I'm
copy
confused
of,
too.
I don't have a copy of what was passed.
You have a copy of what was passed in the minutes, because you guys discussed it at that meeting.
But not a copy of the product. Only a copy of the minutes.
Which had a full version of the product.
You need a
Right.
copy of the product that's coming before them.
Okay.
These minutes don't come before them.
We
No.
You had a full
I don't
version
have
of the
that.
amendment in there though.
I don't have it. You have to have something to sign that the vote was blah, 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 in order for it to go to the county. So if you want to get technical, that's as technical as it gets.
Something like this right here.
That's correct.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
exactly right. So if you want to do that this evening and you want it to go to the county, I can have it to the county on Thursday morning for them to take care of their waive. I don't think the county has any interest in what we're doing at this level with respect to those documents. But as long as I have them, I'll take them over.
I'm just, my only question is that all of the ordinances that are submitted are disposed of in one way or another. And not
Either
just,
for or against.
and not just floating,
Right,
because that's causing confusion.
right.
It has to go from this.
So that last meeting we had about when we changed the definition of cabins, and we sent that to the township board. You guys haven't done anything with that because I haven't?
It never came to the township board. I'm telling you that. I don't have it.
Okay.
I don't think Lindsay has it. It's just not there.
All right.
It hasn't been.
Okay, so that's where my.
Yeah, that's
question is.
that's where our problem is, because I
What's the
remember
process?
sending it. I go back and get the email and show where I've sent it to
Right.
everyone. That's where our problem is that it's not being sent to one person who's responsible to move it along. It's just being sent to everyone and it sits.
And that's not the perception.
Okay, so it's, I hope you understand my
Yeah,
confusion.
no, yeah, I
And I
understand,
didn't
yeah.
mean to bottle this down at all, but it is legal, and I'm
The planning commission,
trying to keep it cut and
and
dry.
this is per the attorney, and I'll let you speak in a minute, I won't, but per the attorney, the original motion was denied, but it was not moved to the board to deny it. That's what we did at the last meeting. We moved it to the board. We denied it, we moved it to the board. They did the same thing, is my understanding. So, correct.
Or you,
No, I'm lost.
now I'm lost as well. Now you're over.
Because
now you're over
we
number
just sent
7
language to the last board.
You're talking about the no, is I think what you got.
It comes from here, and it comes over to the township. We don't do anything with it except take it to the county.
Motion by Green, second by Kennedy to recommend enactment of the following proposal. This is December 12th.
Okay.
Motion by Leclerc, second to, okay, that means, motion carried. All right.
So the motion was made.
Motion was
To
made.
move it to the board.
It
Yep,
was
and the
never
board
signed
decided
off
to
on.
table it at that next
The
meeting.
board meeting.
At the board
We
meeting, they
had to
tabled
table
it.
it because we don't have it.
What do you,
Go ahead.
Okay, yep.
I want to clarify procedure. You say you're gonna go to the town, or to the county on Thursday. You can't go to the county on Thursday unless it's presented to our full board and we agree to it, correct?
Not on this. On the planning commission issue that they're discussing, as soon as I have a copy that can go to the commissioners and they can read, they can act on that. They cannot act on minutes.
All right, that's not what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Do we agree to it before you take it to the commission or after
No.
the commission do what they
After the
do?
It
commission
goes
has
to the
met.
county before it goes to the township board.
It comes back here after they've waived it or reviewed it and say no, if they want.
Okay,
Okay?
that's what I want to know.
Yep.
the process is with the zoning and enabling act is that the Township Planning Commission is responsible for that. We made a motion for 2022-06 to move it to the board, and the board tabled that, is what you're telling me.
Mhm.
So,
We didn't have a choice, we didn't have a document, and they had a chance to, they had not reviewed it. There's no way we could have done that. So it had to be tabled.
the original document goes back to May 23rd, 2000.
And that one wasn't
22.
completed.
No.
No, that was incomplete.
That wasn't completed.
Yeah,
so
we made a
needed to
motion, but what the attorney told me is we didn't make a motion to move it to the board to deny it. And that's what we did at this last meeting, we made a motion
Right,
to deny
but we
it.
didn't have the completed document to actually be able to move on it.
We didn't have to act on that, it goes straight from here,
Right.
right, straight to the county commissioners. Through the board, all we have to do is get it and take it to the commissioners.
But we didn't have it to take,
We-
is what I'm saying.
No, that's exactly what I've been saying,
Right,
we don't have it to take.
Well, you're kind of starting fresh, I don't mean to interrupt.
yep,
But you're starting fresh now to move forward.
That's right.
So.
All I need is a
trust us.
copy of it. I get a copy, I'll have it over there to them tomorrow morning. Then I have something to present to them to review it, not minutes.
So a copy, just, and this is why we split this up to 2020, 06, and 07, because everybody got confused. 06 doesn't allow C1 in Old Town. That's what the planning commission approved, okay? So,
that's what you recommended.
Cabins.
that's what we recommended, and that's what we approved.
No,
It was a 5-0 vote, right?
No,
it's skipped over to 7 from 6.
no, 6 and 7 have nothing to do with cabins.
That's what I'm asking.
Yes, correct.
So where are we now?
Well, obviously, I'm gonna have to take that minutes.
He brought up
and-
cabins. and
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
what
no,
I'm
I
talking
obviously gotta go back and take the paragraph out of the minutes, title it, and bring it back to you guys
about. That's correct.
for everything that we've done recently.
Yeah, to me
Okay.
personally, with a signature on it,
Okay,
and a vote that was taken.
yeah. No, because I was at that township board meeting, and I didn't get the impression the reason it was being tabled was because they didn't have a copy in front of them. The reason it was being tabled was because they were waiting for this.
That's correct.
Exactly.
And it's not the minutes, it's the actual document. It states what the rules are.
Yeah,
what
and
you're
I
asking
carried
for.
that with me for so long, and I haven't got it with me right now,
But
otherwise
I
I
know
would
you
just
got
hand
it,
it
so
to
we'll
you.
get it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Back over to 7, or you're on 6?
I guess what we need to confirm is, obviously, the planning commission approved it, 5-0, 6.
06, 22.
06, 22. And we're saying that the board tabled it, is that correct?
Yeah. Deferred it, they did not table it,
They
deferred.
deferred it, that's the
Yeah.
right word, they deferred it.
Yeah. So they just need a copy, just like this, that says 0622 at the top. They will have that by midnight.
It'll be all the information.
Yep.
Talking about the cabins, right?
No,
Jesus.
Yeah.
Where are we now? Are we
we're
on
still
7?
talking about
We're
marijuana.
talking about marijuana,
Okay,
we're not talking
thank
about
you.
anything with
All right.
cabins.
Cabins, nothing with cabins.
That's right, that's totally different.
Just sort of like no introduction to the next project. Okay, go ahead.
So
Yeah, no,
06 has to go to the county commission for 30 days.
06 has to go to the county commission.
Correct.
Correct.
Correct,
They can waive it, but yeah, it has to go to the county.
and that hasn't been done
Correct,
by the board.
correct.
I thought they already waived that.
They did.
Where's that 05?
They did.
Yeah,
So-
06
They did.
06 is done. It was rejected at 07 is where we are today.
The 06 one, what the law states is you send it to the county after the public hearing is held. Doesn't matter if planning commission gives a recommendation or not at that point. It's just the order is public hearing, then to the county. You come back to the
How
planning
would
commission.
you submit that to the county, a public hearing, just everyone's comments?
Yeah,
That would be the minutes,
yeah,
wouldn't it?
minutes, with the ordinance that you're looking at,
Yeah.
and then the minutes.
Right.
And it doesn't say who submits it, the zoning enabling act doesn't specify who submits it.
Okay.
So in here, it could be the township board, could be the clerk, could be the chair of the planning commission. It's up to the local community who submits that to the county. But I think it was submitted, if you look back at your attorney opinion, I think it says that 06, once you held the public hearing, it did go there.
Right.
So you're done with that stuff.
It was waived.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
It's the other one that hasn't been to the county.
Seven
It's
is-
Oh, seven, yes.
Seven.
Yes,
That's
that's
the one.
exactly right.
And you held the public hearing for that too.
Correct, we
Yeah.
did.
It was advertised correctly.
Yes.
So that
And the public hearing was held on that.
is eligible to go to the county at any point.
As soon as we make a recommendation at the town, at the planning commission
Is that what you're doing tonight?
Yep.
The next thing in the meeting.
So,
So then the tiny cabins, where do you stand with that?
I have to set a document.
Okay, because 06 has been passed on, and has been received by the county,
Yep.
and waived, and come
And
back,
then you guys deferred it.
and we deferred it.
Yes.
Right, because it has to be down here first.
So now,
We're not doing cabins tonight at all. We're not even gonna discuss cabins.
that came up.
all right, I thought you brought up cabins.
Done.
All right,
Yeah, the only thing we're dealing with is,
6 and 7.
correct, and we're dealing with
Well, we
seven,
gotta-
because six
Let's pay for it.
Six is done.
six was approved.
Yeah.
And again, you know, this for all of us on the planning commission is Groundhog Day. Because since May 23rd, we've been trying to get this moved forward. But 6 didn't allow, and what's important is not what it did allow, but what it didn't allow. It didn't allow C1 in Old Town.
Absolutely.
Okay, a permit was issued for a place in between for Old Town. And now we're saying, we
Yeah.
want 07 to now allow a prior non-permitted use. That's where we're at. And we're now gonna include C1 in Old Town against what we already said that we weren't gonna approve. That's where we're at. And again, if we don't do this, I've talked to the applicant, he said he's gonna sue us, right? That's why I think we have an election coming up in May, that's why I think it should be a referendum, and let voters
That's
decide
done
about
outside
this.
down outside here, that has to be done by individuals, not by.
Is that what they're doing?
You're just.
Yes, well, the applicant would have to go and say, yeah, I want a referendum. The advantage is, we already have an election coming up in May. Why not just put it on the ballot? Let the voters decide.
Aren't we all?
Well, you're here for one reason tonight, and that's to vote on something.
Right, or to deny it. But I'm giving it an
Vote. When I say
alternative.
vote.
I'm giving an alternative,
Right.
yeah, okay? Just so everybody knows.
Yeah, I understand.
Alternative is if we deny this, the applicant said he's gonna sue the township board for a lot of money. And the alternative is, we have a May election coming up, let's have a referendum on it, where people can vote on it, that,
Or you guys just do the
that's
job and
gunshot.
vote.
Let me,
Just
second.
vote and
I
let's
think
move on.
that
I'm gonna do a point of order here. We are on public comment still.
That's right.
Yeah.
So let's go back to public comment, get that done before we go on with other discussion.
Yeah.
For my own minutes,
once you're done with public comment, then you.
then we can
Yeah,
discuss.
yeah, okay. Okay, anybody else with a comment, public comment?
We would just like to see this moved along and no more dragging out. Let's get the votes done, follow your procedures and just get it over with. We usually watch all the meetings. We're lucky enough that Craig posts them online and we usually watch all the meetings there. But it's the same thing over and over. Like, get on with it already.
Hey,
Could I get your name, please? I don't have your name. I recognize most people here, but I don't.
Zilke,
What?
Zilke.
Zilke, all right. That's right, you were here before.
go ahead, Evelyn.
I, as a member of Briley Township, of taxpayer, would like to see you guys vote on this, get this part over with. It's not up to you as a planning commission, it is not up to us as a board to look at getting a referendum. It's up to the people to petition and get it together and have it put in there. And if they want to, that's fine and dandy, but that has nothing to do with what you're there for right now. So get
Amen.
that off your plate.
Right.
And then if somebody wants to do that, allow them to do that by all
And
means.
it's up to the applicant to actually ask for that.
And so it's up to
Right.
him to do it, he hasn't done it yet, so do your
Right.
job and let him do his.
But I'm giving alternatives, okay?
That's all right,
That's all I'm saying.
just, that's all I have to say,
So
is
what
get
we're
this off
dealing
the
with
plate.
is 07
Mhm.
tonight.
Right,
And if we deny 07,
mhm,
the recourse is referendum. That's what I'm saying.
It still goes to the
Still goes to the
county
Still goes
as
to-
a vote.
and then it
Correct.
still goes
Correct.
in front of the
So
township.
that can be changed there too, so.
Correct. Correct.
The way I see this, after all the posturing, all these months going on, if it goes on for months longer, this guy is gonna put a marijuana shop in that old gun store. That's the end game, that's what's gonna happen. So dragging our feet, we're going months, and attorney after attorney, and
Money.
talking about it in public forums, and yada, 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 this has been going on for months and months. You know what the final outcome, so just do it. Just get it done with.
No,
Just like by Kevin McCarthy, everybody knew he was gonna get speaker. Just do it. You know, we gotta go 15 times, 15
Yeah,
rounds,
but here's the issue, is the applicant was given back $5,000 that for.
Well, I don't care what all, they
Okay.
just
The
do
taxpayers
with
were
this.
just
Just
tired
deal
about
with
what you
this.
move it along,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can
yeah.
get past
But-
it, no matter what you vote, just get
But
past it.
as Bruno said, it's a process. It
We
has to be.
understand
Yeah, we
the
understand
process, and we
process.
understand that your
Because
feet
we
are
heard
dragging.
what the lawyer
Right-
put
right
out,
now-
we all heard about the
right-
lawyer's letters back and forth. Who
Right.
had one letter, who didn't have the other, who had the recommendation, who didn't. And this was the recommendation, you know, to follow this line, what we're doing right now. So vote and get it done.
And move it
And follow
along,
what the lawyer said.
And let the procedure happen.
and just
Let
get,
the-
move it along, no matter how it turns out, move it along.
Let
We're
it
all
happen,
tired
let it
citizens
go.
Well,
and
We all
taxpayers.
know the end result.
Well,
We all know
We
the
know what it's gonna be.
well, no, we don't.
We don't know
We
the
don't.
end
Whether we know
result.
the end or not, we don't care as
Because right now,
taxpayers, move it along.
that applicant was issued a
A lot of
permit
money all the
illegally.
time.
Their $5,000 was given back. What we're deciding is, are we gonna make it legal? Tonight by 07. 07 makes it legal by allowing
You're
C1
not
and O
deciding
town.
that.
You
You're
don't get to
deciding
decide.
whether or not you're gonna recommend it.
No.
And then you're deciding,
Hang
You
on,
didn't
hang on.
comprehend.
One person at a time.
you're deciding whether or not you're gonna recommend it. From there, your hands are done.
That's
Yep.
it.
You're doing what you're supposed to do as a planning commission. Then it will go to the county for the commissioners there to decide what's gonna happen. Then it comes back to the board, and the board has the ultimate say.
That's it.
And that
Just
does
move it
not
along.
mean that the commissioners are gonna do what they're gonna do to make sure that happens, or that the board's gonna do what you think the board's gonna do. I still don't know what I'm gonna do. I still don't, and I sit on that board. So, do your job, address that ordinance, that zoning, and let's move on with it.
Yes, please.
It needs to be done.
And Gordon and Denise, procedurally, 07, if we were to approve it, or let's say we approve it tonight, that then goes to the board, to the county?
Goes to the county.
County's job is review and recommendation only. They don't get a say. They
But-
just give you a recommendation, goes to the board.
Goes to the board after that.
Yeah.
Whatever we do goes to the board 30
Right.
days,
That's
right?
exactly right.
No, it goes to the
For
county.
us,
Goes to the county, I'm sorry. Goes to
But the
county.
one thing that I have with the way that you word things, Mark, is that you keep saying, if we approve, you are not approving anything. You are recommending whatever. You're not approving, you are recommending, you are taking a vote as to whether or not to recommend this. You're not approving it. It's
Well,
the
if they
board
don't
that approves
recommend it, does it still go to the county commissioners?
Yes, it goes to the county commissioner tomorrow, no matter what.
Well, they're not meeting tomorrow, are they?
Well,
It
they
goes
can
into
still go to the
reading,
office to be
not-
put into the meeting.
Okay.
Okay, so the issue tonight, to get beyond all of this, and believe me, as we say, Groundhog Day, the planning commission has been diverted with all this stuff since May, and we weren't involved with it, and a lot of things procedurally went wrong, so we're trying to do it correct tonight.
Exactly.
And so we're now at, do we want to allow,
And you're taking it past public comment, so either end public comment and go into that and make your
Okay.
vote.
well, we're actually getting into the agenda item, which is
So you need
7.
to end public comment.
Okay, anyone else, public comment? Or just kind of it seems like we're already into 07.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, public comment is ended with no further comments. So let's talk about what we're here for, which is, actually, it's a small part of tonight's agenda, Your part is a lot longer.
Make a motion. Somebody,
I'll make a motion
Make a motion for,
to discuss this, we need a motion.
To discuss and vote on ordinance number 7 of 2022, which is the marijuana ordinance.
So you're making a motion to discuss it?
Discuss and vote.
I don't, wait a second. How do I word the motion to discuss and vote, and we,
right,
Then we
usually.
vote on whether we're gonna vote?
Usually you make a motion to, to vote on
to do
it,
something?
and then you have.
The second is
then
to
you
do
have
something,
discussion.
and then we
Then you have
discuss what we're
discussion.
doing,
Right,
and then we make a vote on it.
correct.
All right, we're not,
Make a motion for vote.
yes. I got a motion. Is this a motion to recommend or to not recommend?
To recommend.
To recommend. All right, I need a second.
Passage of ordinance number 7 of
Okay.
2022. The marijuana zoning.
Would you like me to read it verbatim?
Yes, sir.
Correct.
All right. It's a motion to recommend enactment of the following language to the zoning ordinance and to send to the township board and the county. To section 200, we're gonna add the definitions as reflected in Taxation Act. I can go over it, but this term is defined time to time in section 3 of the Michigan Regulation and Taxation of Marijuana Act, being MCL 333-27953. And every one of our definitions is worded that way. Section 6 under, which is our agricultural district, is hereby amended to add subsection 3, which shall be read 600.3, marijuana growers, but only inside fully enclosed buildings and after attaining permits from the township under the Township Commercial Marijuana Establishment Ordinance. Section 800, which I believe is downtown. Let me confirm that before I get myself in trouble here. No, 800 is light commercial. It's hereby amended to allow marijuana retailers and designated consumption establishments after obtaining a permit from the township. Section 900 is amended, which would be the Old Town District, to add subsection 6, which is marijuana retailers and designated consumption establishments after obtaining a permit from the township. Section 1000, which is our C2 district, marijuana retailers and designated consumption establishments after obtaining permit from the township. And section 1100, subsection 7, which is our industrial district, is also marijuana growers in fully enclosed buildings after obtaining a permit. So what we're saying is, you can grow in agricultural and industrial districts only. And what we're adding from the previous thing is we're adding Old Town and C1 to allow retailers.
Correct.
So agriculture is 600, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. That is the,
That is the motion, and that is the second, and.
that is the motion, correct.
And this is discussion, and again, why are we doing this? Why are we going back when we already decided in the original motion for this, on May 23rd, was not to allow C1 in Old Town? Why are we changing this? Because we have a lawsuit?
No.
No.
We're changing that from recommendation of the attorney. Straightforward. The planning commission didn't want to approve this when it was considered as ordinance number 6. You voted it down, it was mishandled.
And excuse me, the board also voted it down. 4 to nothing. You 4 to 1. You were the only one that voted for it.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't
But
matter.
let's get the facts, let's get the facts straight. Let's get the facts straight, Phil.
What,
Careful.
I'm confused. We're talking about this motion ahead of us here.
Correct.
Yeah.
What,
And what I'm saying is that when the planning commission turned it down, the board also turned it down, and now the planning commission has approved it, that 06 does not allow C1 and Old Town.
correct.
Now we're saying we are gonna allow that. And my question to all planning commission members, why are we changing this?
The township board has asked us to review adding these 2 districts.
Exactly right.
Because why?
They don't have to explain why, they're just asking us to review this.
To avoid the
Well-
lawsuit, that's why.
Yeah, we're in a
Maybe.
lawsuit. Yeah.
No one, guys, I sit on this board, as do other people in this room. Nothing has been mentioned. I can show you the correspondence recently between me and the owner of that establishment over there, who wants to be an establishment, mentions absolutely not one word about a lawsuit. He wants to proceed forward and get this taken care of. That's the only thing he wants done. And to
A
bring
yes
up
or a
a
no?
lawsuit again and again and again is ludicrous. If you have something that you have in writing that states that, I'd like to read it. If you don't, I don't wanna hear about it.
Amen.
Well, what we have is a situation where a permit was issued illegally, and Evelyn, as you said, you called out the entire board by name and said that we messed up. This is our fault.
Yep.
Okay, so everybody
Is
has
this
to
audience
understand.
It
participation?
doesn't matter.
Is this
06
open?
was dead.
Well, she can talk, I can talk.
No.
She's in the audience, she's not on your board, so
Right.
if she can talk, I can talk.
Well, hold on.
No procedure.
You're bringing up old stuff.
Okay, this is
We're over that.
this is discussion among planning commission members right now.
Right, but you're bringing audience members into it, so that's not how that's supposed to work
Okay,
procedurally.
sorry.
The
So-
township board has asked us to add Old Town and C1, all right? There are reasons, they didn't declare to me any reasons why.
Right,
From what I'm seeing around the state personally, I drive around quite a bit, I am an avid geocacher. I see these facilities in towns and I see them out of towns. I've seen some small communities make special districts outside on the edge of town for them. I've seen other small communities along right in town, right in the parks. So where the law says or where it makes the most sense to put these things hasn't been determined as far as I can tell. It's
right,
always up to local.
and at the May 23rd, and this is why we have to go back and discuss this, because the planning commission was blindsided by this. Per the Zoning and Enabling Act, we were responsible for this. It came to us on the 23rd. We didn't have enough time to decide. And at that time, Phil Lamore said that the public will never allow it in C1 in Old Town.
8 months ago.
May
It
23rd.
doesn't
matter, you're on.
Okay, but, hey, excuse me, this conversation is between the planning commission right now. So I have to ask the other planning commissioners, what's changed?
Exactly what you
We-
were just told.
we-
You were just read and just told by Mr. Green.
The
Exactly.
township board
The
asked
township
us,
board asked the planning commission to look into this with the
Sure.
addition of Old Town and C1. That's exactly what we did ask for and what we recommended. What the planning commission's job at that time became is ordinance number 7. It will be known as ordinance number 7.
Right,
And that was to
and-
be inclusive of those two zones.
Correct, and that's the motion on the table, is
Exactly.
07.
Mhm.
And I'm saying why we shouldn't approve it,
Why?
because we don't want it in Old Town and C1. We've heard from the audience.
Yes, we
We've heard from the residents. They said numerous times, we don't want it there. That's the good thing.
It's not up to you to worry about that. It's up to
But
the
you were
board.
elected to that.
Your recommended board, your recommendation.
Recommending
goes-
body, right. And we're discussing right now.
Okay, I should.
Okay, what, exactly, please. We're discussing right now why we should, we just approved 06, which doesn't include Old Town and C1. Now we're doing 180 and we're including it. And we got 2 people that are for it. I'm not for it.
That's why you get a vote.
That's why you
That's
vote.
right.
And if you want to bring
But
it
I
to a
want
vote, you can.
discussion on this, as to why we are changing this.
He just told you, because you were asked to by the board. The board, you work for the board. Planning
I don't,
commission-
the planning commission is independent of the board.
Oh,
It's checks and balances,
no,
Phil.
No, it's not.
No, they work for the
Yes,
people.
Yes, it is.
You are a recommending body to the board.
We're a recommending body, but we're like, unfortunately, the latest example is Senate and House. We're basically checks and balances.
They're all elected, they're not elected.
We're appointed, but we're appointed for a reason. And I don't wanna get into to all that, but Denise, I mean, here we are. So, the planning commission basically is overturning 2022-06 to 2020-22-07. okay? And we're up for discussion, and I'm asking, why are we doing this? When we just approved an ordinance that doesn't allow it, now we're allowing it. That's my question.
Because you were just told why, Mark, and you don't wanna hear it. The fact is, the board asked the planning commission to do its job in adding in Old Town and C1, the municipal areas for retail sales of products. That's all we asked, not any discussion on.
Well, and
No, not old discussion of '06,
okay.
where are we here, ordinance number 6. That's a dead issue, and every single port was dead in the township, it's dead in the planning commission. We're on to '07. Don't bring
Okay.
up old stuff. Old stuff has no bearing on this meeting.
Oh,
None. All dead.
06 was just approved recently by the planning commission.
But it's not on the agenda.
Okay,
No, it's not.
so now you're telling us, okay, let's do 07, which is
That's what we're asking for. That's why I
materially
made a
different
motion.
from 06. And I'm arguing that I don't see why we should.
Okay, you've got your.
It's on the agenda.
This has been on our table, October 22nd, 2020. We've been discussing this. So,
Actually, it goes back to May 23rd.
no, that's,
Yeah, we had.
no, May 23rd of 2021. I'm all the way back into 2020. That's,
We had a joint meeting on the 12th of December, and we had a discussion on this. I think everything has been discussed on '06 and why we're doing it on '07. It's right here in the minutes that we just,
Well,
we found nothing.
We're, okay, and my point is, we're gonna vote however we wanna vote. All I wanna say is that at the end of the day, we're revising this to allow an illegal permit that was issued and making it legit.
It was withdrawn, money was returned. There is no permit.
There's nothing wrong with what happened there,
No, there wasn't.
not a thing.
Well, why did they return the money then? There was nothing wrong.
We did it, we started all over again. You wanted that, that's what we did. We
Right.
started over. This was your recommendation. So we started over and we did it step by step by step by step. To do it legally, the money had to be returned.
Correct.
The application fund had to be, or, money had to be returned, and I voided out the permit.
Correct,
I did everything legal.
right.
Yep.
And right now, as it stands, they can't have that operation, correct?
Not right now.
Correct. But if we approve 07, they can't have that operation.
Once it goes to the county and it comes back to the board and voted on it, you're correct.
That's my issue.
But you see that if you all vote it down, it still goes to the county makes a decision, comes back to the board votes on it, votes it in, and your only recommendation. And I keep trying to say that, and I appreciate you guys, don't get me wrong, not to undermine you or anything. But do what's right for the community, and quit arguing about things that happened 6 months ago, 2000, all this. You may not want it there. Personally, I'll never walk in the place. I've never touched it, you know, it's whatever. But also, you could say this is a dry town. We're taking all liquor out of this town. We're closing all the bars. We're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. There's certain things that I don't like, but I have to live with. So
I agree with Dave that you should go ahead and vote, but when you vote, remember that you're voting for what the people want, not what you want.
So
Well,
I
and-
was saying, Freddie's just put in a
A
huge
certain
beer
number of
nobody
people.
complained about that.
I don't know,
Not
we
a
haven't
single
taken a
peep.
tally. And I agree with you on a lot of things, Mark, but I'm saying we haven't taken a tally, had a sheet that comes in and says, I
Well-
want it, I don't want it, I want it.
And again, Evelyn, I'll use your own words, you know, that vote for marijuana, you know, in 2019 was very, very close. My thing is, this is, sorry, my thing is that if we turn this down, the applicant has an alternative. And there's already a May election, the alternative is, let's have a referendum. Let the people vote.
Then let the people decide to put that on, that's not your job.
You
So
have-
vote
Wait
no
on your
for
agenda
that, so
again,
it
you
can
come
go
to
to
the
the
comment going on again.
I need to understand something, what the planning commission does. I guess I thought the planning commission is supposed to take an ordinance and look at, okay, what's good for the flow of the traffic? What's gonna be better for how it's gonna work in the community? Where's a good place for this? This is really gonna work at this location. Not that you personally care about the business, or you personally care about that type of industry. That is not your point here. This is not your
No,
job.
our-
Your job is supposed to go, okay, if Amazon wants to build something, where do you guys wanna put it? The planning commission goes, over here would be a good spot.
We need to
Right.
widen
And
the
give a
road.
recommendation that Amazon should go over here. Not that Amazon is good for what you like to do, or is it gonna
Right.
affect other people?
And-
It's
and-
about the community and
This sounds
how the
very
flow of
personal.
community
You
goes
don't
on.
want it there.
This sounds all very personal.
And, no, and the point is, we're in charge.
No, we're not in
Point
public
is, you're
comment
not
right
in
now.
public comment,
Yeah,
you
we
guys are
really
supposed
are.
to be voting. You have,
Really. This is between us guys.
well, Mark keeps
Public
asking,
comment again?
he keeps asking questions of the audience, he keeps dragging them in.
Because we shouldn't.
Take-
Can I call for a vote?
Please.
Okay,
Legally,
but I'd like some further discussion. I'd like each planning commission member to explain.
they don't have to.
Why?
They don't have
They don't
Before you
have
vote.
to.
That's like asking if you vote Republican or Democrat.
You don't have that right.
This is a public hearing.
You'll
Okay?
see
This
when
is
they
not a
vote,
public
then you can
hearing.
ask them afterwards.
No, they can vote however we
You don't
did
need to demand their opinion.
did this
We're
before.
just asking personal questions.
No, I mean,
They don't
why
have
are
any
you in
right.
favor of it or not in favor of it? That's what we need to
No,
know.
then you know their
That's
vote.
not your point here.
Then you know their vote when they talk. You can't do that.
I'll tell you mine, it's none of your business. I'll tell you my answer.
I'll tell you, Mike,
Yes.
you're trying to pull a vote out of them by getting their opinion that's completely wrong. Call for a
Okay, well,
vote.
it's supposed to be, it's
You'll
supposed
get your
to be
answer
about
when you call for
transparency,
vote.
right? And the public wants to know, why
You
are we
wanna
doing
know.
You
this?
can
You
explain
wanna
it
know.
afterwards. Take the vote.
Excuse me,
find out.
Excuse me.
Point of order?
Yeah,
Yeah,
There's
sorry
another term
guys,
now.
sorry.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
I'm looking for it, can't remember. The point of order.
yeah. And this,
We need to
You can call for a vote. Anyone can call for a vote and that ends the discussion.
Right.
We can immediately go to vote.
but,
Call for
but
the
the
vote.
point is,
I call for a vote.
we're gonna have that on the table. What I'm saying is I want each planning commissioner to explain their point of
They
view.
don't have to
We've
do
done
that,
this
Mark. That's
before.
against the law.
No, it's not.
Yes,
Yes, it is.
The only place
You're
you can
trying
do
to
that,
pull out.
the only place you can do that is on the school board. This is not a
can't
school
do
board meeting, and no, we don't have to explain
The-
anything. Our vote explains what we like or don't like.
You know,
That's it.
You can do a roll call
Yeah,
vote.
exactly.
Denise,
I'm out.
She knows where you're going.
Not even going there.
And you're dragging out
I'm
her
here for
time
Article
too.
3.
Yeah,
Thank you
thank
very
you
much.
for coming.
Dragging everybody's time.
okay. I guess, you could take Clinton's point of view, it's none of your goddamn business.
I didn't say it that
That's
way, you
good.
did.
But,
Yeah,
okay,
nobody used that language
But-
but you.
I would
But-
never use
Right.
that language, thank you.
okay, but,
It's voted and called for by 2 members.
The difference between
Okay,
F and
let's-
GD, big difference.
okay, you don't have to state your reason, but let's have a roll call vote.
Okay.
Okay, so this is for
him to tell him that.
ordinance 2022-07,
07-2022.
To recommend,
recommend.
I vote yes.
Keith? And you can feel free to state your opinion if you want.
Listen to this guy.
I don't recommend.
That's a no.
Okay.
I'm
We're-
gonna vote-
Like the gentleman
I'm gonna
was,
vote
well, like
yes.
the gentleman was saying right there just a second ago that, you know, what's the planning commission do? They figure out the parking and all the ins and outs of having this business, whether, however they feel about it. We weren't notified of any of this till there was already a permit and it was already happening.
Exactly.
So it's like, we were totally out of
Especially
the.
during the vote
This
is
is not-
not.
No, no,
Discussion
discussion among the board is allowed, guys.
That's.
You're in the middle of a vote.
We're voting.
Hang on.
Discussion is over.
That's
No,
why
no,
I
it's,
voted.
it's, the
Procedure.
Doesn't
it's
have
just,
to.
it's just, he's allowed to, just like Clinton said, I don't have to give my reason why.
Nobody has to.
Nor do they want to.
But
They wanna vote.
Keith wants to give his reason why.
Well, he
And I
voted, so
did, that's
he's
it.
done.
He's done.
Okay.
Gordon voted yes.
I voted yes. Don't
Phil?
have to have a reason.
Phil votes yes.
Phil votes yes without a
No.
reason. Mark
Motion,
votes no.
motion is approved, 3-2.
See, now you're, everything's simple, right?
Democracy and work.
Making
There
sausage.
you go. Just for the record, I still think that Phil should have abstained from voting
No public
Because if
comment?
this comes down to whether or not he's legally on the,
No, we've
No
already,
public
we've already
comment?
voted, we can have public comment, I'm sorry.
Oh, it's not on the
It is open
agenda.
public comment, and it's not
I'm
on the
the
agenda.
chair, I'm
It's not on
allowing
the
public
agenda,
comment.
you
okay?
have to follow an agenda.
Okay, we've already voted, and
Not on
someone
the
wants to
agenda.
comment, go ahead, comment.
he should abstain from voting. If not, if this comes down to the fact that he's not supposed to be on this board, then it's gonna be an illegitimate vote.
He is supposed to be on the board.
And then you'll have to come back and do it all over again.
No,
as
it
more-
won't, because the bottom line is, it's a recommending body, whether they voted yes or they voted no. It goes to the commission, then it goes to the board.
Okay.
Board has the
Does not
final
matter.
say so it doesn't make a lot of difference.
Well,
So then why do we have a planning commission?
You
exactly
decided
right.
to vote these people.
Because they're supposed to
Why,
be
so we can
planning.
get a lecture lane in front of Dollar General.
We tried to plan, but we were never informed of anything, Ms. White. But Mr. Lamore never informed anyone in the planning commission until it was already a mess.
Okay, but now it's being cleaned up.
It's being forced on everybody's
Now it's
throat.
being cleaned up. It still hasn't been passed.
Well, hopefully the board does the right thing and votes it all
You know,
down.
that's like Phil said at one of the meetings, that you guys are subordinate to the public.
Hang on, I'm the chair, okay? You're not in charge, Phil. You think you're in charge all the time, but you're not, sorry. Go ahead, Craig, what do you have?
Phil said that everybody, you guys are subordinate to the public, but you don't act like it because they already voted that they don't want marijuana in the county, much less in Briley. But now Phil's changed it around, he's pushed it through, and we're in a legal mess, and we spent how much money on attorney fees?
Stop.
That's
Okay,
because this planning commission keeps making it go back to the attorneys 20 million times.
No, if it would, I would have voted yes on it if Mr. Lamore and Gordon Green hadn't said, we'll never allow it in C1 or Old Town. I would have voted yes on it the first
Nobody
time.
ever changes their mind, ever.
Excuse me, point of order. This has nothing to do with the planning commission. This has everything to do with the board. We didn't approve the marijuana ordinance. We had nothing to do with it. All we're approving is zoning. I don't want to see it in C1 or Old
Yeah, we
Town.
know.
That's all we're voting on tonight.
No, we voted it.
No.
Move along.
Well, I'm just trying to clarify it for you. You seem,
I'm not confused at all, trust me.
okay, yeah. Okay, so,
Call for an adjournment.
now we've got the long portion of the meeting with,
We gotta vote on the office.
I have one nomination on the floor. Do I have another nomination on the floor?
I have a nominate, I can't nominate. Yeah.
You have to vote on them one at a time?
Yes, sir.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought you did. All right, well, we need a motion to nominate me then.
Okay,
That would be Phil. You get that motion. Do I have a second to nominate me?
I'll second.
You got a motion and a second to nominate me as chairman. Any other nominations for chairman? I'm gonna close nominations and call for a vote. That's the chair's job right now.
yeah, one thing I'd like to bring up while we're talking about this, for the chair, is, Gordon, are you being compensated by the board in any fashion for advice?
Me?
Yeah.
$2 a year?
Yeah.
No, I get my $30 a month like any other person.
I thought you said the board authorized up to 15 hours a month that you could advise them.
No.
No?
No, there was a thing where I could be working on the website, but that hasn't really gone anywhere. But no, I'm not an employee of the town. The only employee I get is my $30 a month to do all this stuff.
Okay, just want to make sure there's.
Yeah, no, there's no conflict of interest as far as I know.
Okay. So, so we've got a motion and a second, roll call vote. Start
We
with
can
you.
roll call it.
Yep. Go ahead.
I vote yes.
Keith?
Yes.
Gordon, you can't vote
I
on it, can you?
abstain.
Okay, Phil?
Yes.
No. Who's the recording secretary now?
That's the second thing. I'll continue recording for a moment.
Okay.
We need a vice chair position. I'm gonna make a motion that Clinton be vice chair. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Any other nominations? Well, no, I have to nominate Clinton for the vice chair. I'll close the nominations and we'll call for a vote.
I'll just say my comment, you know, Clinton, I have nothing against you, but you have no background, no experience. I don't see how you can be the second chair. I don't see it. So, yeah, it is.
Okay. So, we can't nominate anyone for the vice chair?
Well, that's my confusion is.
You have to
I've done this
complete
with
this
multiple
one and then
nominations.
go on. You have to complete this one and then go on if it fails.
All right. Okay. So we'll go for a vote on that?
Yeah, well, okay, so Clinton can vote on it.
Yep.
So Keith, yes or no?
No.
Gordon?
I made the motion, I'm gonna leave it yes.
Phil, you know how you're gonna vote?
Yes.
No.
So that's a tie.
We have a tie. So,
Now we can open, no more nominations up, or how do you do that on a tie?
I don't.
My personal feeling is the vice chair position is hardly ever called to task.
right,
Only called when the chair is not available, and we've had phenomenal luck with having the chair available at every meeting. And it's for training purposes. That's, Kamai's looking at it, getting his feet wet in a position that he may not have to do, but get his feet wet.
I respect, you know, the issue is, you know, Clinton, there were 2 classes, online classes that Dan Kent and I took. There were 4 hours. Did you take those classes? Yeah.
I've done 4 hours training already.
Okay, so,
And I'm already working on another 6.
good, good.
So,
So
don't judge a person before you know them, buddy.
Yeah, no, it's
You're
good.
judging me when you don't know me.
Yeah.
You don't know my background,
You
you
don't
know
need a
nothing about me, but yet you judge me.
No, I simply asked the question, did you take any training?
You don't feel how
I
I
don't,
You
yeah,
said
we may
yes.
not even need a vice chair, it's just been
Yeah.
traditional, we made that the vice chair,
Yeah.
yeah. But,
I don't believe we need one, and I can't state that as fact because I don't know that. I know you need a chair, and you need a secretary.
you wanna defer the vice chair election
Yes,
at this
until-
point until we
Yes,
find
until
out?
Until we have clarity on
Yeah.
Did you have a vice chair before?
Yes,
We did,
I believe it's Keith.
we did.
Does that sound familiar? Okay.
But the recording secretary, what I'd like to recommend is, what I'm used to is that we usually have a paralegal or an attorney take the minutes.
Oh, sure.
Lindsay's done a terrific job, so rather than appointing any of us, I'd like to see the minutes be recorded by a township employee, and that would be Lindsay.
it. And who are you gonna have